Robinson Crusoe, adapted for English language learners at level A2 by Story Steps. Chapter 3. A New Life in Brazil. The Portuguese captain who rescued me was an honest man. When we reached Brazil, he treated me like a friend, not a stranger. He helped me find a small house near the town and introduced me to local planters, farmers who owned large farms. "Work hard here," he said. "The land is rich and life is peaceful." For the first time in years, I felt safe. The air was warm, the ground green all year, and the rivers full of fish. Fruit hung from the trees, and the people were kind. Many spoke a little English or Portuguese, and I learned their language quickly. With my small savings, I bought tools, seeds, and 2 servants. I cleared land outside the town and planted tobacco and sugarcane. It was hard work, but each day the plants grew taller under the hot sun. At first I had little, but I worked with all my strength. I built a hut from wood and leaves and learned how to dry tobacco and cut sugar. The other planters helped me and said, "You learn fast, Mr. Crusoe. You will soon have your own plantation." After 2 years, I began to earn money. My crops grew well, and I sold part of them in the town. I bought a cow and some chickens. Life was quiet and full of work. In the evenings, I sat outside my hut, listening to insects and the wind in the palm trees. Sometimes I thought about my past, the storm, the pirates, my time as a slave. I also thought of my father's words. "The sea brings only trouble." Yet I felt that God had saved me for something more. "Perhaps this is my reward," I said to myself. But peace did not last long. I began to feel restless again. The sea was near, and ships often came to the harbour full of goods and stories. When I heard sailors talk about new lands, I felt the old fire in my heart. One evening, a group of planters visited me. "We are sending a ship to Africa," they said. "We need someone who knows the coast and can help us trade. We will bring back slaves for our plantations. You know that trade from your earlier voyages. Will you come with us?" At first, I said no. I had a good life now and remembered the storms, the pirates, and the pain of slavery. "I have risked my life enough," I told them. But that night, I could not sleep. I thought of the adventure, the money I could make, and the open sea. By morning, I said yes. The ship was small but strong, with 12 men aboard. We carried beads, knives, and cloth to trade in Africa. The sky was clear when we sailed from Brazil. The wind filled the sails, and the water shone in the sun. I felt young and alive again. For many days, the sea was calm. The men laughed and sang. I watched dolphins play beside the ship and sometimes helped the crew with ropes. "You have a sailor's heart, Crusoe," the captain said. I smiled, proud of his words. But one evening, dark clouds rose in the west. The wind changed suddenly. The captain frowned. "A storm is coming." The next day, the sea was wild. The wind screamed in the sails, and the waves struck the ship like fists. The sky turned black. Rain poured down, and thunder rolled across the sea. The ship climbed high on one wave and dropped into another. Barrels broke loose and rolled across the deck. "Throw them overboard," shouted the captain. "Lighten the ship." The men worked fast, but nothing helped. The waves grew taller, and the wind tore the sails. I held the side of the ship, shaking with fear. "God, save me," I cried. "If I live through this, I will never go to sea again." But the storm grew worse. Suddenly, we heard a great crack. The ship had struck rocks. The sound was like a giant tree breaking in two. Water rushed in from below. "We are lost!" shouted the captain. "Into the boats!" The men lowered two small boats into the sea. The waves threw them up and down like toys. I jumped into one, my heart beating wildly. "Row!" someone shouted. "Row, or we will die!" We tried to reach land, but the wind pushed us back. Huge waves lifted us and dropped us again. The sky was black and rain covered our faces. The boat filled with water. One man cried out, and then another. Suddenly, a wave as high as a house crashed down. The boat turned over, and I fell into the sea. The water was cold and heavy. It pulled me down. I kicked my legs and tried to swim, but I could hardly breathe. Salt water filled my mouth. This is the end, I thought. I will die here, like so many others. Moments later, another wave lifted me. I saw land, a dark line in the distance. I swam toward it, though my arms were weak. Each time I thought I would sink, another wave pushed me closer. At last my feet touched sand. I fell forward and crawled onto the beach. The sea pulled at my legs, but I pushed harder. Finally, I lay on dry ground, breathing hard. The storm still raged, but I no longer cared. I was alive. For a long time, I lay without moving. The rain fell and thunder rolled above me. My clothes were heavy and torn. I looked toward the sea. Broken wood and barrels floated in the waves. No other man was in sight. When the wind grew quiet, I sat up. My heart was full of fear and wonder. I was alone, but I was alive. "God has saved me again," I whispered. "But where am I?" All around was wild land, sand, rocks, and dark trees. I saw no houses, no lights, no people, only the endless waves breaking on the shore. I was too tired to think. I crawled under some rocks and lay down. The wind blew cold, and the sea roared like a wild animal. My body shook, but I closed my eyes. That night, I slept for the first time as a man alone on a strange island.